when I realized I was going to be speaking to you this morning and I saw that you were in LA, I decided, well, I'll read up CNN and see what's going on in LA. And it's like, holy crap, there's this big headline about, cancel everything. The mayor is saying this, that. They're
I don't
predicting
even pay
like
attention to it anymore. I just I just stay inside and like do my thing, and I don't know. I had to like disconnect from all the news,
Sure.
just
Yep.
be smart about it, I guess,
Yep. Well, I mean, just as long as you're keeping an eye on yourself, that's the thing, because they're predicting like 3,000 deaths a day or something or other in the States. And it's
It's
just
really,
nuts.
yeah, it's really crazy, man. Yeah, it's just a bummer. So I had to. I mean, when it first started, I was like, watching the news every day, all the time, and it just like got to where it wasn't good for my mental health.
Yeah. You
So
definitely get nothing else, a burnout factor on it all because
exactly,
eh, it's crazy. But anyway, so you're kind of hunkered down in your place in LA.
pretty much, man.
I love the thing behind you. It's a kind of
Right here, yeah,
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 yeah.
like a skull, like a bull skull, I guess. That's a fake one, of course, but yeah, we have a bunch of those around. That's kind of actually have one on my arm too.
Oh, very
Um,
cool.
kind of. I'm from Texas originally, so
Right, right,
I
right.
like that kind of stuff. But yeah, just hunkered down here with my girlfriend and my dogs. Hopefully, my dogs don't bark during
That's all right.
this, but
I've
um,
had with all these Zoom interviews I've been doing, it's like dogs, cats, babies, you name it.
I
There's all
know, yeah,
kinds of stuff.
yeah. I've done quite a few of these too, and sometimes they're good, and some if I get a package though, we're all screwed. They
That's all right.
they go fucking nuts, man.
Exactly. So your album came out at the end of October. It's called "Getting By on Getting Down," and a weird time to put a record out for everybody. So, what's your
Yeah.
take on the whole thing?
Well, obviously it's unfortunate that I'm not out touring and doing all that stuff, but I think we decided to put it out one because I think people need music right now. I think that there's definitely still a hunger for it, and two, I recorded this record in 2019, so I'm sick of it already. I need to. No, not really sick of it, but like as I think most artists can relate, they're like you're kind of on to the next one,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
and
I can't really sit. I didn't really want to just like sit on it for another year and not have anything going on, and I'm ready to record another one. So
so if you were going to make a release or make a record right now, how would it be different from what you've just released?
I don't know. I was actually talking to my producer about that yesterday, just kind of what we want to do for a next record, and I think just kind of continue on with the sort of rock theme that this one has, and
Right.
um, I don't know. I don't think you really know until you write the songs, which I've kind of just started, you know, putting ideas together and stuff like that. So we'll see where the songs go, and then I just sort of listen to a lot of music,
Yeah.
and just kind of do research, I guess, on kind of what I want it to sound like.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, your previous record, Concrete and Mud, has been described as a career-defining third record. So I'm wondering, when you approach making the fourth one, if that was in any kind of effect on you making this record, thinking in terms of the fact that people already think you've already got a career-defining record behind you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what career defining means. But it that's just like a press thing to say, you know what I
Right, right.
mean? But yeah, I mean the record did really well for me. It was definitely my most successful record at that time, and it definitely brought me a lot of new fans, and I'm really proud of what we did on the record, and I think that this record is just sort of an extension of that one.
Yeah.
At least that's kind of what we were going for. Maybe a little bit more rock and roll, a little less country, and um, Yeah, I mean, again, I don't really know what career defining means, but
Uh,
if that means got me some new fans and got me to play in better shows, then I'll take it, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Feels like the line between country and rock and roll is getting more and more blurred these days. Anyway, people are hopping them
Yeah.
back and forth and kind of mixing them. So, I don't. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't think people just call everything country or everything Americana, you
Right.
know, just because it's easy and it's just like a sort of widely known nomenclature, I guess, you
Yep.
know. But I don't really think what I do is country, but like if you want to call it that, and that's fine with me. If you want to, if that gets me more fans just because it's labeled country, then
Yeah.
cool, you know.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not really too interested in like in labeling what I do. Um, I think I just, I hate feeling boxed in. I think I get really claustrophobic, you know.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, and then there's country that's just pop music too, you know.
that's true.
So I
Yes.
don't think anyone really knows. I don't think anyone really knows what they're talking about.
That's probably true. And I see you recorded the album at Robbie Krieger's studio. It's called Horse Latitudes, which is
Yeah,
a Doors reference right there. So,
yeah.
did you get to meet Robbie at all, or?
I met him once. Yeah, he's sort of in and out. He has a separate guy named Michael Doman that kind of runs the day to
Right.
day at his studio, um, and it's Michael's studio too. But yeah, we get to use like all Robbie's gear. Um, I got to use like on the title track. He got to use a tone bender that was like it's a tone bender's a fuzz pedal, like
Right.
one of the original fuzz pedals that really influenced like 70s rock, 70s, 80s rock. And we got to use like his original one, which was really cool. Because that's one of those pedals that is like, not only is it like gigantic, like can't really fit it on a
Oh,
realistic pedal board,
right.
at least for me,
Yep.
but it's very expensive just because it's a commodity
Right.
now. So it's just really cool to be able to use that and get to use some of his guitars, use some of Michael's guitars and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I used to work for MXR, which was based
Oh
up in
yeah,
Rochester, Rochester, and we used to build these little kits that for their pedals and stuff. So I'm not a musician,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm familiar with the boxes.
yeah. The MXR, they make the Phase 90, which is a really like popular. It's a phaser, so it's a really popular like in country like Wayland sort of sound
Oh,
pedal.
great.
I actually saw that. Are you familiar with Boss? Like the pedal company?
Right. Yep.
Anyways, they're like a fairly popular pedal company, but they made like basically a clone of the Fuzzbender. I just saw an article about it yesterday.
Uh,
Um, and with like really rare parts and stuff like that, and it's like only about this big. So
right. Right.
they said they're making a limited amount of them, which means that they're going to be so expensive. So I probably won't get one, but I can fantasize about it at least, you know?
You got to work out some kind of endorsement deal.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, I would like that.
And it sounds, speaking of the sessions at the studio, it sounds very live. So tell me about what the process was making this record.
I mean, it is mostly live. In the studio, we recorded simultaneously drums, bass, majority of the guitars and keys, um, and some vocals. A lot of the vocals we did later, just
Right.
because it was easier for me to like focus on guitar and then do the vocals later, kind of do it separately. Um, but yeah, I mean, we did some overdubs, just some like guitars here, like some weird synths here or whatever. But I think I like the live feel,
Yeah.
especially when you just get a lot of good musicians in one room. Um, I think that that's kind of when the magic happens, and it gets a little disconjointed. Is disconjointed even a word? I don't know.
I know what you mean, so it's a word.
Yeah, yeah, I'm making it a word today. Uh, yeah, it gets a little weird when you're recording bass at someone's house and then drums at someone else's house, and
Yeah, yeah.
it just feels a little disconnected. Maybe that's the word I was looking for.
That's probably a
But
word.
disconjointed sounds cooler
I
though.
like it, man. If we've achieved nothing else today, we've invented a new
Yeah,
word.
yeah, exactly.
Now you mentioned the musicians on it. One of the guys who's on this one that I don't think was on the previous one is Doug Pettibone, the guitar player who used
Yeah.
to play with Lucinda. So how did he get roped into working with you?
Uh, the bass player that played on this whole record was in Lucinda's band actually with Doug too.
Right.
His name's Taras. I don't even try and pronounce his last name.
I know I've got it written down here, and I've given up already.
Yeah. I mean, I know him pretty well, and I just kind of just glaze over the last name. He's just Taras. You don't know any other Tarases, so he's just Taras.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we just like needed like a good rock guitar and some slide also on a couple of songs, and he was like, why don't we have Doug in? And I've kind of wanted to work with him for a while. He's kind of a legend, and especially in LA,
Yeah.
does a lot of studio stuff. And, not only has he worked with Lucinda, but like John Mayer and stuff like that, or people like that rather. So yeah, it was a pleasure to play with him and just kind of see him work. He's talk about pedals, man. He's got,
Oh, yeah.
he came in with like a pedal board and then a separate just bag full of pedals, and then like 5 guitars, and he came ready to rock, man.
And speaking of rocking, the track "Money Ain't a Thing," there's quite a guitar break in there. Is that Doug playing that, or because you got several guys on there?
No, that one's not Doug. That's a guy named Eli Wolfmeyer.
Right.
He played the solo on that song. Doug plays on "Wicked Woman," plays the slide on that,
Oh, yeah.
and then "Getting By on Getting Down" he also played on. But he does a really cool slide. That slide solo in "Wicked Woman" is it's really cool. It's really unique.
Yeah. And that track in particular and the whole album has a kind of swampy vibe to it, which,
Sure.
LA you don't think of as you got to be in New Orleans or something for that. Is it the people or the place that it gets that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's I come from the South. I come from Texas,
Yeah.
which some people will say Texas is in the South, but that's for a different interview. Yeah, so I think that Houston's definitely swampy, in a literal sense. Like it's probably 90% humidity there today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's kind of where that comes from. It's just kind of in my blood a little bit. And I think that swampiness just kind of is just another way to say, groovy,
Yeah.
or groove based. So that's something that we definitely shoot for, and that's something that's really important to me in my music, at least right now.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, you can feel the groove. And so when you get these songs, I mean, you probably, I assume, have the lyrics down. The groove, though, is something that has to be built. So how does that happen?
Yeah. Well, honestly, for this record, and a little bit for the last record, I started with the groove. Um, and the lyrics were oftentimes the last thing I wrote. So I would either have my drummer send me grooves on, his little shitty electric drum set. He would like
Right.
send me a little voice memo. of just some different grooves, and I would write to those, figure out melodies, figure out progressions and stuff on top of that. Or I would, there's some songs that I, would just hear another song and I'd be like, let's steal that groove. And then I would, send it to my drummer, he would play that groove, and yeah, we'd go from there, So yeah, I kind of reverse engineered a lot of these songs in a way.
Right. Now, one song I wanted to touch on was Round and Round. And I've got a little bit of a political vibe in that one. There's something reference to red and blue, and I don't know, maybe you can illuminate.
Yeah, I think
I had a PhD in chemistry, been high and low and in between. Seen the red and blue flash on Highway 60. That state trooper took my degree, and round and round and round and round and round you go.
I think that the overall theme of the song is, the world just keeps on spinning, whether you're red, blue, purple, yellow, the earth just keeps spinning around, and, we need to listen to each other. We need to love each other. And not only is it really a political thing, but just more personally, it just kind of reminds me how sort of small I am, and
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, and I think it's important to have that humility,
Right. Yeah. I will say, I think my favorite lyric, though, is in the opening track, "Living on Cold Pizza." That just sums it all up,
And I'm living on cold pizza. Yeah, I'm mixing up my days.
Yeah, that way I still can't believe I put that in a song, but it's like one of my favorite lyrics that I've written. We kind of rolled with it. We have like some cool pizza artwork, and
right.
I definitely have lived on cold pizza too.
Yes.
When you don't even have a working microwave, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, yeah. And then the album kind of comes to a close with the song called "I Think I'll Just Die Here," which is acoustic and voice, and especially with things the way they are these days, it kind of possibly take on a different meaning. So how are you feeling about that now?
Been here for a while, made just a tattoo on that smile. Times and people change, I just shake my head in shame. Can't tell me no view is better, even with the change in the weather. I just close my eyes and pray to stay the same.
Yeah, obviously I wrote it in the perspective of someone else. I think basically what it means to me is, I see a lot, especially in America. I guess just sort of speak for America, and I see it sort of happening in the UK too. I spent a lot of time in the UK last year, so I kind of know what's going on there politically, although I don't fully understand
I don't think they understand
their political system. But in any case, I see like a tribalism
right.
effect going on in both places, and people picking a side and just sticking to it no matter what new information comes at them. They listen to someone just because they're on their side, and don't check the facts, and
Yeah.
just sort of blind obedience to their tribe. And it's a real issue. So I think I'll just die here is just, I'm just gonna die on this hill comfortably numb, and I try not to get too comfortable like that. I try to hear people out, and I try to I try to not think that I'm always right, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
try
yeah.
to
Got to keep an open mind.
the
That's
other
the key.
exactly. I don't, and I'm not perfect at that. Like I like being right. I think everyone likes being right, you know. Um,
Yes.
but I just try and keep it because if I think I'm right all the time, I'm not going to learn anything. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
So do you get
yeah, I think,
opposing viewpoints from fans, people who contact you, see you, talk to you, listen to you?
yeah, I mean, I think I have fans that are like every side of the spectrum, and
Yeah.
um, you know, I'm not someone that's overly political, but at least like in my writing and really in my daily life, I'm not overly political, but I do have a point of view, and I want to be able to share that in a public space. And I try not to ruffle too many feathers if I can avoid it, but at the same time, it's my point of view, man. You
There
know,
you go.
it is what it is. You know?
It is what it is. Well, hopefully things are going to settle down in LA sometime soon. Are you looking forward to a
Hope so.
vaccination?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the vaccines yet, man. I kind of want to like let some other people try it first,
That's always a good
and
point, I think.
yeah, yeah, you know, like my mom's 65, 66, and
Yeah.
you know, she called me the other day and she was like, "Should I get the vaccine?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I think I would wait a little bit, you know, just kind of see how it affects everybody else and then go." But I'm not an anti-vaxxer or
Right, right,
anything
right.
by any
Yeah, no.
means, but I
I
think it
think I
is
saw something when I was looking at CNN today and seeing what was on in LA. I saw an article about how the former presidents, Obama and
I saw
Clinton
that,
and
yeah.
Bush, were going to get their vaccinations on live on camera so that they would encourage
Yeah,
people.
but can you really trust that they're getting the real thing? Who knows, man, you know.
Ah,
They could be getting a placebo, a sugar shot or something, you know. Um, no,
yep,
I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's great that we are there, you know. I
yeah,
think it's great. Like I saw UK is actually like publicly distributing it, or at least passed for public distribution. I think that's awesome, but me personally, I'm 30, so I would more than likely be okay. So I'm gonna wait, you know.
yeah, all right.
But I think for higher risk, maybe it is, you know, it is a good idea to get it at least eventually, you know.
Yeah, very good. Well, been nice
Who
talking
knows what
to
it's
you.
going to cost in the States too, man,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
true too. So, I mean, the healthcare system is just outrageous, especially
Yeah,
compared to
it's
here in New
horrible.
Zealand, where it's
I
pretty much,
know. Yeah,
it's
everyone
socialism.
gets whatever they want, you know. Yeah, it's I could that's another interview too. When you make a healthcare YouTube channel, I'll be on.
Okay, great.
We'll talk about
I'll
that.
get right on it. Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for talking to me. I appreciate it. Hopefully things
I
will get
appreciate
better
you, man.
instead of worse. And hopefully you'll be out on the road sometime soon and playing some new
Hope
songs.
so. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me, Marty. It's good to meet you, and hopefully I can
Come on
go to
down.
COVID-free New Zealand soon
Yeah,
enough.
there you
You know?
go. All righty. We'll see you
All
later.
right, man. See you
Bye-bye.
later.